man. It's all right. We're going to get into it anyway.
There's a request, but he don't have no picture or name.
Let's see. User 284827157527. If you have a question or something, put it in the comments. Or let us know who you are. Or let us know something.
Let us know that you're human.
Yeah, something. It's not a DJ deck. It's a sound system for music production podcast. Yeah, right.
Well,
it is.
It's really for live events, but that's like conference level.
Yeah. No, it is. It is
stuff.
Conference level. Yeah, it really is.
I'm sure, I know this is amateur for me to say, but I'm sure that we can pull up a good old YouTube video and sit right there in front of it for a minute or two.
What's she talking about?
Sure, it's on YouTube.
No, it is. Okay. I don't know if y'all are even, sometimes I don't even know why I say half the stuff that I say regarding
I heard
stuff.
you. I heard everything.
No, listen, because everybody's like, bro, just get into the manual. Listen to what I'm saying. I am burnt out learning about all this stuff. Okay. I don't know how many times I got to say it. Listen, there is a manual. There is a YouTube video. I don't think y'all listening to me. I'm so I need another 6 months of not learning about electrical devices, bro. You have no idea. And then, I don't know if y'all know what a skid steer is. Okay. Some people might. It's just think of a big piece of farm equipment. Okay. I'm just saying that. Just think of a big piece of farm equipment. Okay. Or I'll use the word bulldozer. Let's use that word. Most people know that word. Okay. So I bought a bulldozer. Okay. It's called a skid steer, but I bought a bulldozer. That's not what it is, but I'm going to call it that so everybody understands. And they're not cheap, okay? And if you ain't never been on one, you ain't going to learn in one day. I don't care what anyone tells you. You may learn what each little button does, but you're not going to be good at it in one day. I want to say it took me 2 days, probably 8 to 10 hours maybe each day. And then first of all, I wasn't even good at it, but I was like, okay, now I at least know how to operate the darn thing, and so every hour you put on it, obviously the better you get at it. Excuse me, man. And so I'm learning about that, and because it's hot outside, everything else is picking up, the pew classes, cutting that timber is perfect. I hate to say it, but when it's hot, that's the best time to cut, man, because it's not going to rain. You can kind of leave your stuff out. It's not going to get all rained on. And it's just, I don't know. So what I'm saying is I got a lot going on. I don't got 2 hours to sit down and learn how to put in the pass key. I don't have the 2. I'm using those 2 hours here on Descaled. After I'm done with this, there ain't no more breathing room, Bubba. I'm out. Let's see. I used to have a Bobcat. You will master it soon. I'm already, I don't want to say I'm a master at it, but I'm already good. And I had a guy come over here. He owns a construction business. And he was like, man, I need to hire you to come over here and move some of my stuff around. I said, yeah, you can't pay me enough, Bubba. You got to pay me $200 an hour if you want me to go out there and move stuff around. There ain't no way. Somebody called the wambulance. Oh yeah, heck yeah. Y'all better call 2 of them for me. Y'all better call 2 wambulances, Bubba. Let's see. Well, we're thankful for the time you spend. No, I know y'all are, man. I know y'all are. I'm just saying, y'all think I'm playing. I do not, 100%. I do not have time to get in there and learn. Not today, not this week, not next week, probably not for a couple of weeks, but I will say this. I did find a couple of videos and it's crazy. One of these videos is 3 hours. I said 2, it's 3 hours long. I'm like, bro. All right, I'll watch 5 minutes a day. I wonder how long. I'll be done watching that video in 2 months. You hear me? Oh man.
Holidays, you be finishing up.
Yeah, bro. Like, I'm like, man. That's why I'm like, Dre, bro, just hurry up. We need to FaceTime each other. Do this in 10 minutes. And if that's not the problem, then we'll know, okay, that ain't the problem. Well, then heck. Well, now, if that passkey is not the problem, bro, I don't know. I don't know what the heck. And I will say the user manual for this OC, boy, that thing is not, it is not rookie friendly. You hear me? It ain't rookie friendly at all. Not even a little bit. All right, let's get into it.
You can pay me $200 an hour. I'll fly down there and figure it out for you.
She see you pay me to her. See, that's what I'm saying. And people ain't got time for this. People ain't got time for this, bro. I'm telling you, man. Y'all have no idea how much time it took me to learn how to. And then, not just the lights, the camera, but I had to learn how to set them up. Oh, you think you just gonna just put them somewhere? No, you gotta learn how to set them up. They come with. Where's that? That's way over there. They come with these little elbow. You gotta tighten to, and if you don't put them on there right, it won't be facing you. You'll get the camera tight, and it'll be facing the opposite direction.
You
There's
can,
a very specific.
in the comments, she says, take a picture and ask GPT, chat GPT. That might work.
That might work. Heck, I'm not a man of pride. I'll ask a computer.
I talk to chat GPT all the time.
Chat GPT. Remember,
Chat
guys, it's chat GPT. What does it mean again?
I have no idea. I don't even know what it stands for.
Hey, somebody asked Chat GPT what GPT stands for, because I can't remember. I asked her before, and she told me, but I don't remember what she said.
I use Grok.
That'd been perfect for Christian. He just dropped to Lord help us. He would have had it. He would have
like, hey, Christian, what's GPT mean, Christian? What's your abbreviations mean, bro? Oh, that's funny. All right, let's get into it. If somebody finds out what GPT stands for, tell me. Okay, so Jennifer asked, what time is it already? Okay, Jennifer asked, was Jesus condemned from birth? So, generated pre-trained transformer? What? All right, so usually I talk about this around is that really it? Oh, I'm sorry, Alex, I thought you were playing, bro. Hold on, let me read it again. Generated pre-trained. Bro, hold on, that's not what she told me. You know what? I think she did say generated transformer. I don't know if she said pre-trained.
I just used Grok.
What's Grok? What is
Grok
that?
It's like a new one. I got it from X. I don't know if you ever go to X, but it's like this. I think it's a new program. I love it.
Oh yeah. So how is it better than Chat GPT?
I think it is.
Wow. How's it better?
I don't know. It just seems a lot easier for me. Chat GPT sometimes give me a hard time. It seems like a lot easier.
Yeah, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I usually talk about this during Christmas, and we're not even close to Christmas. But remember, I say this all the time, guys. The Bible does not only speak in the black letters on the white pages. No, it does not. Okay, God wrote this. God. I think sometimes we forget that God wrote this Bible. He authored it. Let me say it that way. So I hate when people, they're like, no, it says right here that this man wrote and this. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not talking about the freaking physical pen. Okay, the author, meaning the being behind the idea of the man that was holding the pen. He got these people to write down very specifically what they wrote down for a reason. There's a reason that they wrote it down exactly how they wrote it down. There's a reason that all the people in the Bible, there's a reason their names are exactly those names. Okay? And so let's see. So you know how the Bible talks about Jesus being a carpenter, right? Are you with me?
What?
Okay. All right. So if you know at least a little bit about the area of Israel, as Israel, yeah, right, stonemason, right. So it says he's a carpenter, but when you go study it in the Greek, it is talking about like a creator of something. But that word can be used for wood. It can be used for stone. It can be used for both. But they want to believe that Jesus, all he did was make stuff with wood. Well, if you know the area, there's not a whole lot of wood out there, but there is a lot of rock. Okay, now I've been over this many times, but the question is going to drive me to this because I'm trying to show you something that the Bible does not directly have to tell you. And people go, yes, it does. It has to come from the Bible. Right. But it doesn't have to come the black letters on the white page. The black letters on the white page is not the only way that God speaks to you. That is not true. It's not. It's one way. It's not the only way. He uses many things to confirm his word. And because we know that when it talks about Jesus being a carpenter, it is more than likely that he was a mason, referring to not a United States 2025. I'm a mason. Look at my. I'm not talking about how we've taken that word and turned it into a religion. I'm talking about what the word mason means, where it's referring to people that use rocks to build and create things. Okay. Yeah. Freemason. Yeah. Jesus wasn't a Freemason. Okay. But he was a mason. Right. So again, it's against popular belief, because everybody wants to believe that when Jesus was born, he was born in a wooden manger. Well, when you go look, even the rabbis talk about stone troughs and things like that. And these are the kind of things that I definitely will be talking about on a Timeless Yeshua, just talking about things that's not very clear in the Bible, but based on Jewish tradition, we can see these things. So when they would take a lamb, okay, and they would wrap the lamb in swaddling clothes, they did it because the lamb sometimes when it's born can't catch its feet as quick as it should. And you got to remember, I'm talking about the sacrificial lambs, the lambs that are supposed to be perfect. So they didn't want the lamb to become imperfect by falling down and causing itself to get scratched or any of that. So they would take swaddling clothes and they would wrap the lamb and they would stick it in a manger. But the mangers were troughs, water troughs. And the water troughs in Israel in those days were made out of stone. They weren't wood. They were made out of stone. They would just take a big rock and then they would just carve a big hole in the rock and put water in it. And the animals would drink water. And they could keep that stone trough for the rest of their life and some. Okay, so this idea that, Jesus is out there making all this, equipment out of wood and a bunch of nails and all that stuff, it's not, that's just based on so many things. More than likely, that's not the case. I'm not saying he never made anything out of wood. What I'm saying is everything out there is stone. They didn't have like this big plethora of freaking wood everywhere. It's just not even like that today. But what they do have a lot of is rock, a lot. And so when, just like they did the lambs, What do you say? The movie Passion of the Christ, he invented the dining room table. Yeah. Well, Hollywood's always going to do its thing, but I do think it's fun to do things like that, saying that, Jesus, the wisest man in the world, it was him that invented sitting down at the table, But so the question that Jennifer asked was Jesus condemned from birth? And the answer is yes, because he's the sacrificial lamb. You understand? The sacrificial lambs were condemned at birth. So Jesus was condemned at birth because he was wrapped in swaddling clothes and put into a manger, just like they did the sacrificial lambs. Right? But because hay was more than likely used to cushion baby Jesus laying in a stone trough, wrapping him in swaddling clothes would have been necessary. So if you know anything about hay does have very scratchy parts on it. And you put a bare naked baby on hay, more than likely it ain't going to take long. That baby's going to be bleeding. Right? So to keep the lamb perfect, it was wrapped in swaddling clothes, okay, or cloths. So, sometimes y'all know me, usually I don't go straight to the jugular, but I was going to go straight to the jugular on this one. And was Jesus condemned from birth? Yes. He was brought into this world and he was laid down in a stone tomb, which is the trough, the manger. And he was laid at rest, quote unquote, when he was unalived in a stone tomb. He came in this world in a stone tomb as a baby, right? So 100% he was condemned from birth. You hear me, Jennifer? You got that?
I got it.
All right. So now watch. What I just said is not in the Bible like the way I said it. Right. And that's what people want. They feel like if it's not written out that way, then it's not true. Like if you just can't see these things that were happening, you can't see it. But yet they want it to, like what I just say, they want to right click it, copy and paste it and put it in the Bible. When Jesus came, he was in a water trough and that represented his death. And they wanted to say that. That is not how God operates. He does not operate that way. It's so weird to me that people think that that's how he operates, like an atheist. An atheist would tell you God's not real. Show me your God. And you're like, what do you mean show you? Because you have a little understanding that God's not something you can just show someone. But that's what they want to see. Do you understand? That's what they want to see. Christians do it too. Christians do the same thing. Christians will tell you, well, no, that's not what the Bible says. I'm telling you. Carnal-minded Christians act like atheist people a lot of the time. They want it to say it verbatim, or that's not what the Bible is saying. That's what they want. It is no different than an atheist. You understand? The atheist is using their carnal reasoning. And they're like, well, if God was real, you know what? Hey, why don't you pray to your God for me and tell him to show up? That's what an atheist is going to tell you. Pray to God. Tell him to show up. I want to say, okay, I'm ready. Ready, pray, go. And you're like, what? Hold on a second. And that's what Christians do to other Christians. When a Christian gets a revelation regarding the word that is true, and the other Christian doesn't see it, they will be mocked, just like the atheist will mock a regular Christian. No, pray to your God. Show me. So when you go, bro, Jesus was put into a stone trough. Show me where it says stone. That's not what it says. It says carpenter. Carpenter's wood. Show me where it says stone. You're like, bro, they don't have to say stone. Like if you go back there, no, it says carpenter. Like this is how stupid it gets. If it doesn't say stone mason, if it was stone mason, it would say stone mason. It just says carpenter. But again, studying, let me turn this thing off here. Studying to get a better understanding of what possibly could have taken place, it's not enough for some people. for you to say you studied. It's not enough. They want the Bible to say it. And the Bible says a lot of things without saying it. And people do not want to buy that. Yeah, they didn't see it first, so it's not true. And that, by the way, is a huge thing, especially on TikTok. There's a lot of people like they're trying to get their name out there. I studied the Bible. It's all about getting their name out there. So anybody that's going to make them look like that they're less than or anything, they don't want to be around them. They don't want to be around. Oh, no. They will lie and say that person heretic. Don't go over there. Heretic. They're not a heretic. They're just saying eggs. They don't want everybody to go over there. They want everybody to come to their live. You're not going to see me pointing and telling people, hey, that's a heretic. Don't go over there. Heretic. Nobody will ever be able to say, oh, he told me not to go to that live. And you'll never be able to say it. I've never told anyone anything because I stand firm on what I know is true. And I can care less. There could be someone on the live right now preaching Satan. I'm not going to be like, don't go over there, man. You know what? If you don't know better, I don't know what else to tell you. Okay? Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you if you don't know better. But you got people that 100% on this app, bro. If they didn't say it first and everybody else is starting to hear this awesome thing, they'll just say, no, that's not true. Don't believe that. And you know what's crazy? Some people actually know it is true. But they're going to wait 3 or 4 years and then they're going to start ministering it and be like, I didn't learn that from that person. And the whole time they did, but because their heart is not right, it ain't going to come out right. I hate to say it that way, but it's not going to come out right because the heart's not right. The motive behind what they're doing is not right. But I hate that is true though, that it shouldn't be that way. Just because God did not show you a revelation, you just go tell everybody it's not true. That's actually that's pretty nasty. If you ask me, it's pretty nasty that you have people that they don't care. It could, oh man, that might be true. Well, I don't want no one to think it is. So I'm just going to hate on it. Well, just like, however you say that guy's name, Gamaliel, however you say his stupid name, the one that taught Paul, he made it very clear. Hey guys, if this is from God, you're coming against God. The wisdom is there. He was like, I don't know if this is from God or not. I'm gonna be honest. The guy was honest. I don't know if that's from God or not. But if it is, y'all are coming against God. Be careful. You don't want to be coming against God. You know what I mean? This is how you know these people are immature when people say, oh, no, I don't believe what that person's saying. No. And they're always talking bad about people. Bro, if you're always talking bad about people, more than likely somebody is of God and you're coming against them. Okay. Let's say you come against, 5 out of 10. Oh, no, that's heresy. Oh, that's heresy. I agree with that one person, but that's heresy. That's a lot of people. 5 out of 10. Before you know it, you've come against 500-600 people. And you're probably coming against God, but you're going to say, no, I'm not coming against God. You're not using godly wisdom. If you were using godly wisdom, you just wouldn't be running your mouth about everybody. Stop running your dumb mouth. Shut your dumb mouth already and just worry about you. Like Jesus told Peter, why are you worried about him? You follow me. That's what he said. You follow me. You worry about you. You follow God. Don't be going around telling everybody that you were sent here by God to point out all the false prophets. Now you lying. 100% you lying. You are to make disciples. You know what's funny? The one thing and it's black letters on a white page. Go make disciples. Black letters on a white page. But yet 90% of Christians don't do it. There's no over spiritualizing that. Go make disciples. They don't do that. They just go make arguers. I'm going to teach you how to argue real good so you don't ever lose an argument. What's that guy? That ain't got nothing to do with God. But when you get sucked into that world, man. Meow, what's up, meow? Bark, bark. What's going on? You need to change your name to Bark one day. Just kidding. What I say that was corny, bro? I think all my jokes are funny. What happened?
I'm pretty corny too, so that's why I found that funny. Because my kids be like, "Mom, please, you are killing us."
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty corny, but when you said that, I found that hilarious.
What I
for
say?
some
Hey, what I
strange
say? I
reason.
said like 5. Hey, hold on. I said like 5 things, bro. Which one you talking about?
You said meow. What up, meow? Bark, bark.
Hey, when I first seen her name, and I was like, your name is Meow? She's like, yeah. I was like, nah, we're going to start calling you Bark today. What's up, Bark? I've been telling her that.
God.
I've been telling her that for a year, bro. Hey, listen, man. Life is short. I'm telling you, when I went to war, woof, woof is better. Woof, woof is a bark, silly. She said woof woof is better. Woof is a bark. What are you talking about? Oh my gosh. You know what? We're just gonna keep it meow, bro. We're gonna keep it meow. Oh my Lord, have mercy. She said woof woof. It's a bark. Oh my God. Yeah, I tell you, I ain't lying. That very first time that I almost became unalive, with some pew pews. I'm not talking about, listen, man. I got friends that were like, I'm in a gang, bro. And they almost got unalive from a pew pew. I was like, that's it. It lasted 30 seconds. Like the whole thing lasted. And then it never happened again. And I'm like, nah, bro, that's not the same thing. If you could paint a picture and put them beside each other, it's not, I don't care what anybody says, because everybody wants to be tough. That's the thing. Everybody wants to be tough. If I'm in a gang, I'm tough. Yeah. Bro, like you act like you're in a gang, right, for like 5 years, and then something stupid does go down, and there's some pew pewing that happens, and they're like, it's war. Like, no, bro, war is every day pew pewing, every day, okay, every day, and it's not no tactics, no just running around pew pewing. No, bro. If I could just put y'all in the room of what's going on in like a wartime situation, put you in the room and you would see the tactics, you'd be like, okay, yeah, they're not the same thing. You would see it. You would know, like, okay, it's not the same. Just because people run around with guns, that's not war. Just because they got guns. There's 13-year-olds that say, I'm in a gang. They're running around. They have no idea what they're doing, what they're talking about, But that very first time that situation went down, right, where you have, and you've been trained to handle this, but it's the first time that it's happened. And, and I did well. I did, there was this, you have a caution. There's a caution, like stay alive. But when it's done, you are like, bruh, I almost became unalived. All right. Now, I'm not going to go through details, but I'm not kidding. Like, it was bad. The whole thing was bad. It was the first time it was bad. And I was like, I almost became, and if you could take life real serious, right? Now, all of a sudden, corny jokes are funny. If you don't understand what I'm getting at. Corny jokes become funny because you start finding humor on purpose. You find humor in life. It's no longer, because when these events happen, you feel life being stripped from you. Every second of the day, you feel like there's no more time. There's no more time. So if there's no more time, that means there's a such thing as wasted time. You understand? There is a such thing as wasted time. So why waste more time? Why waste it? This kind of a person that believes in wasted time, it don't matter what kind of circumstance you put this person in, they're not going to waste their time, though. No matter what it is. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you abduct them and put them in a house and chain them to the wall, feed them one time. They're like you kidnap this person and you stuck them, and all you're doing is you're just stealing life from them. You put them in a dungeon, for God's sakes, at the basement of your house, and you give them a piece of bread and on Monday and a slice of bacon on Thursday. That's all they get, and a bucket of water for the week, and they either drink it or bathe with it. It's up to them. And you throw them down there. This kind of person that I'm talking about, they're not going to be in there wasting time. They're going to figure out, how can I utilize How can I utilize my time wisely? And they'll figure it out while they're in that dungeon. They're going to figure out. And when the day happens that SWAT team kicks the door in and rescues them or whatever, they're going to come out of there and write a book. You're like, what the heck? What were you doing? I was writing a book while I was down there. I wrote 10. You get what I'm saying? There's no wasted time with this person. You can say, oh, you'd have them on Dr. Phil and they're like, you were down there for, let's say 2 years. What were you doing down there? Oh, I wrote 10 books. Well, how did you keep up with what you were doing? It was all in here. I wrote them all in here. Which means they could have been at their house writing a book. It doesn't matter where you put them. But these kind of people that I'm talking about, and this is someone that has learned how to master grit. I talk about this all the time. It don't matter what you do with them. They believe that there is a such thing that is called wasted time. They believe it. And once a person understands that, they're never going to waste their time again. And I'm just saying that's a very small perspective of what I'm talking about when I went over there and these certain things occurred. And I was like, man, I almost became unalive today. And guess what? We got to go back out and do it again tomorrow. Right? This ain't we're going to go to the club and kick it. And 4 years later, oh, here comes the next idiot with the pew shooting at somebody. No, you don't get to brag about being a gang member for 10 years and then one day you become unalive. No, it can happen. It can happen any second of the day because it is happening every day. You are using your pew every day. You're pewing. You're not just carrying it around. No. You're pewing, bro. Okay. But that every time I went out there, right, to quote unquote get the bad guy, do these things, I could just feel life being like just sucked out of me. And when I say life, I'm talking about time. You get this time that's taken back, you're never going to get it back. And you just see it slowly just going away. I don't know how else to explain it other than that, but it's slowly going away because any second is your time. So you come back home and you've kind of, in some weird way, you've forced yourself to find humor where normally the old you wouldn't find humorous, right? Matter of fact, I also would call things corny, like, oh man, that's corny. But you start fighting against this thing, like, oh, that's corny. You still do it for fun, but you fight against it because you see that acting that way is sucking the life out of you. Even acting that way, right? Like, and again, that's why your kids are like, oh, mom, man, you corny. Because see, they haven't felt life being stripped from them yet. Not yet. So they're still able to see that way. But when someone starts seeing how life is real important, when they see it, then you thrive to find humor in things that you normally wouldn't. It's kind of like you're forcing yourself to come out of this box and nobody can do it but you. Nobody can do it for you. You got to force yourself out of it. So the jokes, they call them dad jokes. What that's really saying is it's, kids making fun of how corny dad's jokes are. But dad's jokes are corny because it's real easy for him to find humor in just about anything. But someone that can't find humor anywhere, something's wrong somewhere. You can't never find humor ever. Everything's always serious and again, there's a time for that. But sometimes, I don't know if y'all know this, but there is an old vet, this old dude that's passed away. He's from another country and he was a combat veteran and it was his funeral. And during the funeral, they started hearing banging coming out of the casket. And he was like, get me out of here. Of course, for the first few seconds, people were freaking out, but everybody remembered who it was. So he recorded himself banging and yelling. He pre-recorded it and had someone put that inside the casket and hit play at the funeral to freak everybody out. to give everybody a hard time, meaning that he got the last laugh at his death. You understand? So if you didn't find things humorous, you better have found humor that day, because you're not going to be able to argue with him or tell him how wrong he was, because he's already passed. That's something I would do for sure. Yeah.
Honestly, try. If I know the time and the date where I'm leaving, I will. You don't even have to ask twice. It's like, say less. Who gonna put it in the casket? Because I'm gonna make it 2 minutes.
Yeah. And obviously he did it before he was going to pass. So you got to already have this thing made, like it'd be, right. You'd have to make it right now. You know what I mean? Like, because this guy could have had this thing made for 10 years. You don't know, right. Now, whoever's friend or family member put that in there, they know how long he had it made, but he had this whole thing planned out, but it's, in my casket, while everybody's going to be trying to cry, I'm going to have a speaker in there that says, let your heart not be troubled. Count it all joy. Why are you crying? What the heck you crying for? Well, we're just mourning because you died. Okay, well, guess what? You got all day. You got all day today. That's what I'm going to say on there. You got all day today. When you get it out your system, show up to work, stop being lazy and using me as your scapegoat. Oh, no. Oh, Trot passed away. Well, you're going to have to go to work anyway. You still going to have to go to work tomorrow. I mean,
your casket tape going to be like 10 minutes long.
My what?
Hey, the tape that you put in the casket is going to be like 10 minutes long.
Yeah, no, it's going to be never ending. I'm going to have that. It's probably going to be 4 hours long, and I'm going to have that sucker looped. You hear me? That's not going to be forever. It's going to be looped. And then after about 2 hours, I'm going to say, if you are still here, you're an idiot. Get your butt to your house, go to sleep. Go to sleep, for God's sake. You got work. Got work in the morning.
Hey, brother, I got questions. What's your topic? I got another question.
All right, what you got?
Okay, so rock with me.
All right.
Do you know how a lot of people preach like, oh, your children aren't saved and you don't know Jesus until you're mature enough? And they just make it seem like no child is saved. That's what they preach. This is what they make it say. Okay. But I am here to say that I have believed in Jesus my entire life. I even remember 2-3 years old, me and my brother used to pray, and we used to try to summons God. This is honest to God truth. We used to try to summons him. Like, we used to pray to him, and we used to be like, please appear to us, stuff like that. It's just, we was kids, okay?
Yeah.
But I was talking to someone, of course, here on this app, and I was telling them, like, that's just simply not true. When people say that children are not saved, I remember having I've been with the Lord forever. That's all I can say. Like, I have never not known Jesus Christ, never. But I don't know him like I know him now today. I know him differently. But is it safe for me to refute that? Because I from my own personal experience, I've always known the Lord to be God. I was born into that. Like, my mom taught me that since before I could walk and talk. I always known that. So yeah. I was refuting that with a lot of people. Like, that's just simply not true. Even my children, they pray to the Lord and they ask me questions about God all the time. So it's just like, I would just like to know your opinion on that, because I just don't believe that the Lord don't come to children. I just don't believe that.
All right. So let's make what you're talking about a question. Give me one question. What's the question?
Do the Lord come to children? Do the Lord? Yes, I would say come to children.
What do you mean come to children?
All right, let me reword it.
Let's reword it.
Can a child be saved?
All right, how old is a child?
I would say as young as 4 or 5. I'm talking about very young, very extremely young. Just off, believing.
All right, so we're saying around 4.
Go with that. Yeah.
All right. So the question is, can a 4-year-old be saved? The answer is yes.
Yes.
A 4-year-old
Yes.
can be saved, because now here's the other question. Can every 4-year-old be saved?
I would say no, because it's about the belief. It's about
All
your
right.
faith.
Okay. So that right there is that's a big, like understanding right there. Like people need to understand, because
Right.
it's called the, listen, we give it a name. Again, here we go again. The Bible doesn't say Romans 4:17 and the age of accountability is different for all children. It doesn't say it like that. Okay. But again, the Bible speaks to us in many ways. And one of the ways is what is written black letters on the white page. But there are many other ways that he speaks to us. And throughout the Bible in its entirety, you can see that there is an age of accountability. There is. If God is saying, let all the children come to me, let them all come, how can a child come to them if they're not mature enough to even acknowledge who or what he is? You understand? They can't even acknowledge. You say the word God and they're like, food? Like,
So
what are you
would
talking
happen
about?
to them?
Do what?
So what would happen to them if they haven't known God and, you know, God forbid something happened to them and they were unalive at like 4 years old?
Yeah. So if a human, right, a human, age 3 or 4 years old, and they haven't even came to like understanding yet, because the Bible calls it understanding. That's what it calls it. And let me show you what I mean. So the Bible literally talks about how if a man cheats on his wife, his understanding is no different than a horse. Meaning he's just an animal.
I agree.
Okay. It's the same thing with babies. If a baby cannot pay their own bills, they can't talk, they can't even feed themselves. Is that the time to minister the gospel to them? You know? Right. So the age of accountability is, though there is a soul in that body, and that soul will go back to be with the Father, because that soul did not come to a point of understanding in this world. So if a man is cheating on his wife, okay, and let's say the man is saved, so we can say, oh, wait a minute, but he has understanding. Yeah. But what the Bible is saying is, in the act of what they're doing, they're not using understanding. They're allowing the animal, which is the flesh, to reign. They're allowing the sin to reign in their mortal body. Right. So the question is, can a child be saved at age 4? Yes. The other question is, can every child be saved at 4? The answer is going to be no. Not every child at 4 is going to have understanding. They're not. So again, age of accountability is different for everyone. For someone, it may be 5 or 6. For someone, it may be 13. But God knows when the age. What was that?
I agree with that. I'm glad that you confirmed that for me, because, you know, when you on this app, which I like to call a block, you would run into a lot of different conversations, and I have, like, I would like to say evidence, because it's like my personal experience. You can't take that away from me. So I'm just like, I believe that children can be saved, but you have a lot of people that think you have to be an adult, you know, or older,
well,
you know,
again, this is what I'm saying, Jay. This is what I was saying what I found out about this app is you have people on here that are very uneducated on this app. Okay, I'm not talking about that like naturally certain people are smarter than other people. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there are people that are very uneducated in this app. And I'm going to tell you one of the things when I finally seen it for the first time is when I heard adults arguing about Um, when the verse that says flesh and blood should not inherit the kingdom of heaven. There are people on this app years ago, and I hate to say this, after I had that conversation with a bunch of people, all of a sudden I don't hear people arguing about it no more. Like if they went back and studied, now we're not arguing about it no more because they realized what they were saying was wrong. It was stupid. Okay, it's so dumb to say that the word inherit means enter. So the verse that says flesh and blood shall not inherit the kingdom of heaven, they hear that as enter. So they'll tell you, see, flesh and blood can't be in heaven. That's not what that means. The word inheritance does not mean enter. That's not what that word means. It was driving me crazy. I was like, what do you? And they're like, bro, it says right there. They're yelling at me. Look, flesh and blood shall not inherit. I said, bro, that's not the word enter. That word doesn't mean enter. Bro, it means inherit. They're explaining. I'm like, no, that's not what that word means. So I go over what the word inheritance means. So what I'm getting at is it didn't take me long to realize that there are people on this app that they argue. Hold on. They argue about stuff because they're misunderstanding what they're reading. So, like what you just said, Jay, when you said that there are people saying that children can't be saved. If I was to sit down with some of them and say, what do you mean, children? What they are going to explain, the majority of them, what they're going to explain is that they're not at the age of accountability yet, meaning they don't know any better. That's what they're trying to say. I guarantee it. If I was to ask them, are you trying to say that they're not at the age of understanding, like they don't have understanding to make that decision? The majority of them is going to say yes. But instead of explaining that, they go, no, children can't be saved. Nope, children can't be saved. Children, but they're not explaining what they're saying. Do you understand, Jay?
Yes, I do.
So you have to ask them questions. You have to say, okay, what do you mean? What do you mean exactly? Like, are you saying that an 8-year-old child, that there's not one 8-year-old child in the history of the world that can come to understanding that there's a God and we need him in our life? That's not true. For someone to say no 8-year-old, and you know what? Maybe the person you're talking to is a very dumb 8-year-old. You understand? So you got to say, look, if you were dumb, you don't put that on everybody else. Or the other way, if you were smart and you happen to come to God at age 8, you can't say that everybody comes to the age of understanding at 8 like you. You can't do that. It goes both ways. But what you can do is say there are going to be some at 8 that are going to understand, and there's going to be others that are not going to understand at age 8. But to sit there and say no kid could be saved, that's a lie. That's
Right.
not true. Right. But you just got to make sure you understand though what they're saying and make them explain themselves before you just kind of, jump to conclusions that they're speaking lies. They may not know how to fully explain what they're trying to say. Again, people arguing, flesh and blood shall not inherit the kingdom of heaven. And you say, yeah, it won't inherit it. The flesh won't inherit it. They can't get an inheritance. Why? Because the flesh is not the Son of God. That's why. But yet everybody will say, God made everybody. No, God didn't. God didn't, because he's not the God or the father of that fallen flesh. No, he's not. And it drives people crazy, but he's not. That's why you have to be born again, born from him. If you were already born from him, why you got to be born again? Why you got to be born again if you're already born from him? It's because you're not born from him. Now you have to be born from him. So now that you've been born from him, what part of you was reborn? Your spirit. That's why flesh and blood cannot inherit, because inheritance is from a father to a son. That's what an inheritance is. You get daddy's money when he passes away. If you get daddy's money when he passes away, it's only because you were born of him. But if you're not born of God, how can you receive an inheritance of him? The flesh is not born of God. So the verse that's telling us flesh and blood shall not inherit the kingdom, that's because you have to be born again in the spirit. Why? Because the spirit is what inherits the kingdom, not the flesh and blood. But that verse still not saying flesh and blood can't be in heaven. That's not what that verse means. It doesn't mean flesh and blood can't go to heaven. Elijah went, didn't he?
Oh, I always bring that up.
Moses went. Enoch went. They went to heaven. I don't know where they're getting the idea that the flesh can't go to heaven. Oh, I know where. The flesh and blood cannot inherit. Bro, oh my God, bro. Have me pulling out my hair. But they're arguing because they're ignorant of what the word inheritance means. So again, there are going to be a lot of uneducated people everywhere, but you have to be patient. If not, you're going to be arguing. Be arguing with them.
You mean they went to heaven without being baptized?
Well, let's not get in all that. Yeah, let's not get in all that. Here goes the word. Let's see. They were given glorified spiritual bodies. They were given glorified spiritual bodies, huh?
Yeah, he's a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, is he? Let me
He's
ask
not.
him.
He trolling you. Big fella trolling you.
Nah.
Let me ask him.
he's not.
Let me ask him. The word. The word. Are you Jehovah's Witness, bro?
One of them big W's.
The word. You Jehovah's Witness?
Of the Most High God, Jesus Christ.
Not in here no more.
I don't know. He ain't answering.
Oh, there you go.
He ain't answering. Hey, boy, I tell you what, boy, when he disagrees with some, boy, he's sure quick to type. But somebody call you Jehovah's Witness, you ain't say yes or no to that. Nah, just witness for Jehovah. Oh, he's a Jehovah's Witness. Yeah.
Y'all don't want to believe me.
Yeah.
Well, that makes
What?
What he
a lot
just
of
said.
sense.
Said right there, nah, just a witness for Jehovah. Yeah, that does make sense, though, if you are, because some of the stuff you say is kind of Jehovah's Witness-like. I'm just saying, like some of it, not all of it.
I'm floored. Try to pick my face up off the ground because I'm
Oh, you sister, a lot. This is why I tell all my sisters and brothers: you sit down with people for a certain time and let them speak, and they will reveal themselves what they believe.
Well, I mean, that's what he said. If you're not Jehovah's Witness, I'm not sure why you would even say that. I did not have a title, only listen to the Bible. That sounds like a song. I didn't have a title, only listen to the Bible.
New rap is coming.
Yeah. So, word. I just need a yes or no. You Jehovah's Witness? I need a yes or a no, sir. Because now I don't know if you are or not, which means I'm going to believe you are because you said you were. So are you Jehovah's Witness or not? It's a yes or a no. Not I don't have are you a Jehovah's Witness or not, sir or ma'am? I think it's a sir. That's sir. The word is. Yeah, I think I remember. Who is? Sorry. Used to be a rapper. That's all right. Are you a Jehovah? Let's rap about Jehovah's Witness. You a Jehovah's Witness or nah? Let's rap about that. Okay, he said, all right. So he said no. That's what he said. He said no. He said he's not. I don't know why you said. I don't even know why you said. Maybe you're just kidding around, I guess. Because he said, I'm not a Jehovah Witness. I'm a witness for Jehovah. I don't know. I mean, saying you're a witness
he was
for.
doing a play on words with you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I wonder what
Bill,
Bible
you
he's
can't
reading.
just go around labeling.
I was dealing with him yesterday on the
That's
live.
crazy.
Yeah, but I will say this. I will say this though. If someone says things that sounds like that, I mean, it's not wrong to like, well, maybe they're Jehovah's Witness because they believe. It's not wrong. Now, if you tell them labeling something on someone is if they tell you they're not and you still call them that, right? So like if Bill says, nah, you're a Jehovah's Witness and the guy's saying he's not, now you're labeling because he's saying he's not.
Right, that's why I said it, because he was like, well, I was on there with him yesterday, but if he said no, he said no.
Yeah, but Bill said it before he answered the question. So now he answered the question, and he said he's not. So if people still call him a Jehovah's Witness after that, then either he's lying and he is, or you're just labeling. So yeah, labeling people's not cool. I get it. Some people, to me, are borderline trying to tell you, but claims they are not. I don't know. I mean, just
that's a riddle me this.
Fella.
Hey, big fella, what is going on?
Heard this brother talk about the Lord Jesus Christ, and no way. No way can he say some of these things he said and be one. No.
Well, he said he's not. He already said he's not.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I'm gonna have to go here and agree with
right
Jennifer on this one because I talked to the word a couple of times for hours, and some of the things he says he cannot be a Jehovah's Witness just off what he says. So you know.
People go around this app saying that we follow after Gnostic teaching and label us nonstop. Like, that's why I'm like, we gotta just chill, because it happens all the time.
Who's getting labeled what?
We get labeled that that we follow after a Gnostic teaching. Like every time I go in a room, there's something new, a new label in the chat about who we are, what we believe. So that's the only reason I mean, we've been talking the word for a couple of years. He's in here almost every day.
Yeah, when you say we, you talking about like descaled?
The tree huggers.
Yeah.
Oh, the tree. So now Gnostic.
Gnostic.
Hey, how come?
And I'm not. And I'm not talking about the regulars that you are aware of. I'm saying around the entire app. Everyone's.
How about this? Try. I went up on somebody's page. I've never been on his page before. And he said, somebody came up right after me. And he was like, no, don't talk to her, bro. Don't talk to her. She is out of a cult. And I was like, what? I'm not in a cult. And he was like, yeah, they believe that Jesus is the tree of life. I promise you that's what he said, bro. I just bust out laughing like, what?
Was that a Christian?
Yeah, it was a Christian life.
Most of them are.
And the guy who came up,
so he doesn't.
Y'all would see him on here. His name is like Chosen Shema or something like that. He can't stand me for no reason.
They're all Christians, and then they'll sit there and say they believe Adam and Eve were in heaven, and that's the new thing. Well, they believe Adam and Eve were in heaven. They believe in two heavens. It's wild.
The Jada Jew is out of this world. This guy, come on. I don't even listen to him anymore.
The Jada Jew, he's just like a tore up Israelite that don't know nothing. But the Christians, they are worse because I've never saw this man before. I've never been on his page or nothing. And he was talking some stuff that I was interested in. And when I came up, somebody came up right behind me, like he let both of us up at the same time. And he was like, no. Like he was hyped up. He like, don't talk to her, bro. Drop her right now. Don't talk to her. And I was like, dang, what I do? I don't even know y'all. I've never been up here before. And he was like, she's in a cult.
Yep.
I'm telling you. I was like, what?
They're saying that we're saying that try this teaching that Jesus was a literal tree. That's what he's saying. That's what they say all over.
She believes Jesus is the tree of life. And I wanted to explain myself. Like, let's go to some scriptures. I'm not even gonna refute him. Let's just go to some scriptures so he can see what I'm talking about. But they dropped me though. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. When Jesus was walking around, did he look like a literal tree? It's crazy.
Try.
It's
This is
great.
why I go to the other side of the app. I would rather you come talk to people who want to know, who have little knowledge versus people who want to interpret the Bible the wrong way, because they will have, I'm still learning to, I'm not in my emotions, but when they talk bad about you and Dre, oh, you already know. And I'm working on that, brother. I'm actively working on that. But that negative stuff, I can't do it. All they're saying all about you and Dre, Colt, and all of that, because Nina sent me a live. I'm like, why did you send me this? I'm like, I'm going back to the other side of the app. I would rather deal with people who are wanting to know and who are open to learning. But sometimes the topics get wild.
She just threw me right under that bus. Lord,
I'm sorry, sis, because Jay doesn't send me anything.
What did Nina send you?
No, Jay.
Let's not. It's someone you already had interaction.
Let me say this. I'm listening to a live. When it's just a live. We ran a live. Somebody was on there, somebody was on there. We ain't saying no names. Somebody was on there. They freakily visited.
Oh no, I'm not asking. No, I'm not asking, Nina. I'm not telling you to. Hold on, let me say this. I get what you're saying now, Nina. I don't want to know whose live it is. I'm asking what kind. Listen, let me just say, what kind of live? Okay.
It was let me tell you this. It was a regular live that happens to regularly go left in the direction of descalcating.
Oh, okay. I don't need to know who it is. Like
it just
for the one
into that.
Yeah, but for the 1 millionth time, trust me, I don't care. I don't need to know who it is. I'm trying to figure out what kind of live. For all I know, it could have been flat Earth versus round Earth. I don't know what kind of live.
It was a Christian
okay.
live.
All right.
Oh, we don't. I was in one Christian live, and he said, "Yo, no problem." He goes, "I ain't gonna listen to somebody who. What was it? He said he used a particular word about the trees.
Who believes trees are people? That's what I heard them say one day. Yeah.
He said, but he used another word to that effect. I was like, and then all of a sudden I went to speak, and it was boom. I was gone.
It's my thing though. If I've never been on your page, how you know I'm on somebody else's page? That's what I want to know. Like,
all right, well, let me just say this. All right, guys, let me just say this. All right, let me just say this, guys. Okay, the world is a big place. Okay, so I know that for some reason, like TikTok community of Christians, it's like there's 500 of us. Like that's it, right? And
right.
And you get used to like the same 500 people. Listen, guys, we were told to make disciples. So stop trying to prove yourself or validate yourself, whatever word you want to use, to these same 500 people. Do you understand? It makes no sense. The world is huge, right? You don't have to just have a platform on TikTok or YouTube or whatever. There's a lot of people that need to hear more about the Bible, and it's there, right? There's people who want to dig and want to find truth in the Bible, but this whole thing that, Jesus is a literal tree, and they're like, no, they were trees. They are believing that trees were literal trees. So that's their problem. The trees in the garden were not literal trees. They were not, okay? They were people, just like it is today. It's no different. It's the same on earth as it is in heaven. It's the same. Today, God is not telling us not to eat from physical trees. Somebody, is God telling us not to eat from a physical tree of this world?
No.
Can't eat that dragon fruit drop.
Who is God telling us not to listen to? What did Jesus say about Satan?
He a
He's a
liar.
liar.
He's a liar. Isn't that clear that you're not supposed to believe what he says?
Yes.
Okay, so I understand their misunderstanding. I get it. But the truth is, it's no different. It's the same thing. We are not supposed to be listening to Satan. Satan is trying to make you believe that you're not right with God. That's his only tactic. So when people bring up sin and they bring up, look at you, look what you did, it's Satan trying to accuse you. He's trying to take your eyes off Christ. Guys, that's what the whole thing's about. That's it. That's what was happening in the garden, trying to take their eyes off God. And it worked. And it's the same tactic today. Same tree, guys. The two trees are still here in the midst of you. You have Christ in your heart, the tree of life, and you have Satan, which is the carnal mind, trying to question the word. So no more seed gets planted in you. How does that not make any sense? That's what the whole Bible is about. So when these people say, nah, then they're missing it. So what do? They go to topics and they argue about it all day. Instead of teaching people this. You can't make a disciple without teaching them this. You can't. All you're doing, Mighty Mitch, you're not making any sense. Yeah, why not? How am I not making any sense, Mitch? Ask a question in the comments. Mitch, I'll let you up if you ask a question in the comments. Anybody know Mitch?
Yeah. I've been on the block with him a couple times.
Yeah. What's not making sense, Mitch? Ask a question in the comments. If something's not making sense, ask. I'm waiting. Because if you're not going to ask in the comments, then you're not trying to understand nothing. You just want to fight and argue. I promise you, if some of the people up here know you, there's plenty of places you can go argue. I promise. Matter of fact, all you want, they're there 24 hours a day.
Doesn't Revelation say that?
A week.
7 days a week, buddy.
Make sure you're in the book. That way you could eat from the tree of life.
People were trees in the garden. Let me ask you, Mitch, is Jesus the tree of life? Is Jesus the tree of life, bro? Answer my question. Is Jesus the tree of life? I'm asking you a very simple question. Yes. All right. I'll let you come up for a second. We'll see. I'm letting you know, Mitch, you act crazy. I'm kicking you out, bro. I'm just letting you know right now. So, no offense.
None taken, my brother.
All right, Mitch, Mitch, you a Christian?
Yes.
All right. What's up?
Now, I want to know, how did you get to this point?
Well, hold on. Before you ask me that, I want to know how you know Jesus is the tree of life. How do you know that?
What the Bible tells us he is.
Where? Show me.
So I need to quote chapter and verse.
I want to know what you read that made you believe that Jesus is the tree of life.
Okay, ain't that what you see in the garden? That's why they ate. I mean, from what you're saying, from what I heard you say, sound like the trees in the garden was people.
Now, I want to know what makes you believe that Jesus is the tree of life. What is making you believe that?
Because he told us he was the tree of life.
Where? Show us. I want to see.
Well, he talks about, you being he being the vine and this and that. I mean, which represent a tree. I mean, there are other scriptures. I'm how would I say this? I wanna address the craziness you spoke of about.
No, that's fine. We can address all the craziness, but first we're going to address the things that are not crazy. So, is it crazy to say that Jesus is the tree of life? And you said no. So you agree with me that Jesus is the tree of life?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But what's funny is you can't give me a verbatim scripture that says it, but you believe it.
Well, to be honest with you, man, I wasn't ready to even try to prove that because you know it's there, so I don't have to quote it. Anybody that
I
knows
know,
Bible
but until you can prove it to me, it just sounds crazy though, bro.
Well, my mind was geared on the other part. Then I can prove it. I wasn't thinking about that side of it. I'm thinking about what you.
Well, but that is the side I'm thinking about. I am thinking about that people believe that Jesus is the tree of life, but I'm not really sure where they're getting that from.
Well, but don't you believe that?
Whether I believe it or not is irrelevant right now. I'm trying to get you to show me how Jesus is the tree of life. And I'm not playing games. I'm not playing games. I'm being dead serious. I want to know when people say that Jesus is the tree of life, I want to know where they're getting it from, because for some reason, nobody really can show me.
You know, to me, that's kind of like playing games.
That's why I said I'm not playing games. I said that from the get-go.
Well, what I'm saying is, to me, it's like playing games. It's like two scholars asking somebody to show them something when they know it's already there. And the same conclusion you came to about knowing that he is the tree of life is probably the same way I came to it.
Okay,
So
but exactly. Right, but you said...
I wanted to address what I came on here to address.
Oh, listen, sir, listen. I understand you may have a million reasons why you came up. Okay, I understand. But no offense. Okay, no offense. This platform is not going to be like hijacked. Okay, so no offense. I understand you probably got questions, but we can't move on unless you can show me where you are getting the idea that Jesus is the tree of life. I can't move on from that. Can't.
Well,
because
let me give you one scripture where he said, "I am the true vine." A vine comes off a tree, right?
Okay, a vine. That's fair. A vine comes off a tree. Yes.
I mean, I don't need a lesson. I already know where you're going. Wherever you're going, I know where you're going. See?
Good.
This is why I wanted to address the first part, because if you're telling the truth, I want it to be known. Jay White have heard me many times. She know I'm not stupid when it comes to the gospel. So I want to bring you to the point where you said, because that's the lie I want to do. Is that you said that the people in the garden, the trees in the garden was actually people. I want you to prove that lie in the Bible.
Yeah, I know. Listen. I know, Mitch, now you're starting to lose it. So let's not do that.
I'm just getting excited. That's all.
That's all right. That's fine. Look, I get excited too, but I'm telling you, and I'm going to say it one more time. I'm not playing games. If you cannot show me how Jesus is a tree of life, my friend, we cannot move forward. Show me. I want to see.
Okay, so you would have to take from the beginning. I mean, I'm not gonna go all the way through it, but I say this.
Fine. We got people here that can help. You just tell me, and I'm gonna write all this stuff down you're saying, right? But I'm not gonna call you a liar. I'm not gonna call you a fool. If Jay White says
that either.
Right. If Jay White says if Jay White says you're saved, I'm going to believe her that you're saved. So I'm not going to call you a heretic. I'm not going to call you a liar. I'm not going to do that, because I just want to know how you know. See, I know that you know. I know you already know that I believe Jesus, tree of life. But I want to know how you know that, because you didn't learn that from me, right?
No.
Right. Okay. So I'm not playing games. I want you to tell me what brought you to the conclusion that Jesus is the tree of life. Like, I'm being dead serious.
I understand. And this is what I say. Okay. Because if you're a student in the word, you know, if I say this, you can understand, because you said, oh, okay, that's reasonable. If I say that Jesus is the true vine, right?
Okay.
And he talks about him being a green tree, right?
Right.
And if I say that's how I come to the conclusion that he is the tree of life, that should be sufficient for you.
Yeah. I understand the one verse, but there's no way you're going to tell me that's the only verse that you're standing on.
No, you just told me to ask me why I believe it. I'm just telling you that's one verse.
Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. I'm saying, like, what other verses, and if you're saying you don't remember them, that's fine. But I want to know what all verses are you using to come to this conclusion?
I'm just with you because of who you are. With you, and I'm not talking to a person that's unskilled. With you, I'm using it. I don't need to use 1,000 verses for you.
No, you don't. No. You don't. Go ahead.
I'm telling you why I believe that. And you know, and I know that you can take that one scripture and go and connect it to a lot of other scriptures to prove that he is the tree of life. Me and you, well, I don't need to do that with you.
All right, but don't misunderstand. Don't misunderstand, okay? I'm not saying that you have to go through all of them because I don't know them. That's not why I'm telling you to go through them. You understand? I'm not telling you to go through all the verses because I don't know them. So when you say I don't have to do that with you, no, you speak truly. That's true. But that's not why I'm asking. I'm asking because I want to know what verses led you to this conclusion. I want to know. Like,
now, are you saying the conclusion in the garden, or
no, that Jesus is the tree of life? You said.
I will say this, my brother. I'll say this, okay? If I was talking to somebody and they say, "Well, why do you believe that Jesus is the tree of life?" and I would use one simple, because it can't be disputed. He said that if they do this to a green tree, talking about himself, okay, I already know he's the tree of life, all right? Because there is nothing else that's going to refute that, saying he ain't that green tree or he's not that tree. So you could use one scripture to prove a lot of things and not have to go and quote a lot of other scriptures. So I'm just saying, with that, if you say what scriptures did I use to come to that conclusion, I can use that one scripture to come to that conclusion.
Stop with the song and dance and just get to it already. Can you just go through the tree of life for us, brother? Like,
I want to go to the tree of life in the garden, bro. That's what I want to do.
Oh my goodness.
Let's deal with that. He said something.
Well, can you just explain to all the rest of us, because the rest of us are donkeys, right? Can you just explain to the rest of us donkeys how Jesus is the tree of life without just using one verse, but like the whole understanding so that we can understand? Because we don't get it. Trot gets it, we don't get it. Can you explain it to us?
Brother Dre, don't play games. You quite understand what I just said. You understand that is pointing to him being the tree of life. You know that. We don't have to play games. I don't play games with the gospel. If I come up here and I say, look, bro, you said something that's a lie, I want you to prove the lie. What I just said to y'all, all I said since I've been on here is not a lie. Nobody can prove that to be a lie.
Okay, all right. All right. Hey, Mitch, look, I told you, look, I'm saved, Mitch, okay?
Okay.
And if there's something that I'm saying that you're having a hard time with, we don't have to start telling each other that we're lying. Okay, we don't have to do that, right? So, again, I understand that you probably have a lot of questions, right? I get it. But that's why I wanted to start off with Jesus. And for some reason, you don't want to go over no more scripture regarding him being the tree of life. Now, whatever that reason is, I don't know. I'm not saying you don't know the verses, and I'm not trying to prove that you forgot them or any of that. I just want to know what verses. So I'm not asking you, like, the question is not just simply why do you believe that? I'm saying what led you to that. So even though you can use one verse, I want to know more verses. What verses are you using to confirm this to yourself? If there's more in there, I want to know what they are. And if you don't know exactly where they are, we got a whole group of people right here. We can find them together.
I understand what you're saying. I'm a matter of fact guy when it comes to the Bible.
Yeah.
Either you understand. I don't see See, my problem I have with what you're saying is you don't have a bunch of people on this panel that's dumb. I mean, they understand the gospel. So if I give a scripture that points to it, I don't need it unless that scripture is not pointing to it. I mean, I understand that, and then somebody can question that, and then we can deal with that. But if it's not pointing to it, then we need to go further. So if I'm giving you a scripture that's pointing to why I believe he is the tree, either it's right or it's wrong, and you got to say, well, no, that's false, or you're right, or whatever.
No. I said that the verse that you brought up, I 100% will understand, while that verse will be leading someone to believe that Jesus is the tree of life. So I've already said that, right? So what I'm saying is there has to be more verses. So to say that's all you need, maybe for other people, they need more. So what I'm asking you to do is you can do it with us. You're not by yourself here, because I believe you're saved, because Jay White said you were. So I'm saved.
Can y'all please stop saying that? Can y'all please stop saying that? I said I know him. I never said that he was saved. I said I spoke to him on TikTok.
My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. All right. Well, my bad. Well, he said he was saved.
One day she know my talk, but she don't know me personally.
That's all right. That's all right. My bad. That's my fault. Okay. But you said you were saved, and I'm going to believe that you are. Okay. Right. So what I'm asking, I'm begging you, please, I want to go through more scriptures that prove that Jesus is the tree of life, that prove it to someone that may not believe that he is.
Well, my brother, I tell you what, then help me out, because I right now I just can't think of any. If you got one to give me, and we can deal with it.
So let's write some of them down. But when you're talking about where Jesus said he's a true vine, 100%, obviously that is pointing to him. I mean, he's saying he's a vine, right? But we know he's not a physical vine, because he came in the likeness of sinful flesh. So he's a man. Like he looks, to the physical eyes, he looks just like us. So, and that's probably in John 15, I think.
It's 1 through 5. It's John 15, 1 through 5.
Yeah, go there and read it.
Hold on, let me get my. Hold on just a minute.
All right, hold on, don't read it yet.
Okay, y'all going to John what now?
Bill, where you at?
15. And you're going to read 1 through 5.
No, Bill, you read it. You read 1 through 5.
Okay. Let me know when you're there, Mike.
Okay, John 15, 1 through 5. Okay.
I am the true vine, and my Father is the husband. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he takes it away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purges it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No man can ye expect ye abide in me. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me, ye can do nothing.
All right, so Jesus says that he's the true vine and we are the branches. Right, Mitch?
That's right.
So if he's a tree, then we're trees.
I don't know in what context you put in that.
Right. I know. But that's why I'm doing it this way. That's the reason. That's the reason I'm slowing down. I'm slowing down for a reason. Oh, he got a phone call, I think.
No, I got you.
But there's a reason that I'm
back.
slowing down. So if we're going to say that Jesus is a tree in any type of context, then we're trees in that same context.
I mean, I think I kind of see where you're coming from on it.
Right. So are we trees, or only Jesus is a tree?
Now, I would say yes, because we come from that spiritual branch, but
Right.
we talk about the actual tree of life. That's different.
So okay, so Jesus is not the actual tree of life.
No. We're not.
No. I'm just asking about Jesus. Is he the actual tree of life?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're branches of that tree, though.
Right.
All right. So if we're part of that tree, then we are as he is, right?
Well, we have life as
Right.
he does, but we're not that life to give to other men.
Well, when we bring people to Christ, we gave life to them, right?
Yeah, but you don't give them the spirit of life. You gave them the word of it, but you didn't
Right.
give them. The Bible tells us, and when it talks about us receiving the gift of the Holy Ghost, the Spirit, or whatever, John talks about you being baptized of Christ. We can't do that. Okay, so when we talk about the trees, yeah, we can say we are, but not the. So that's different. It's like us being gods, but not the God.
Right. So then we agree then, because you're saying the same thing I'm saying.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah. So when we're told that we've been given authority through Christ, right? We've been given authority to take people's hearts back, right? That are not saved, right? And people's heart is a soil. Right?
Yes.
And we speak the word, right? The parable of the sower. Jesus
Right.
says that the soil is man's heart, and the word, which is the seed, but we know that's talking about Jesus, is the
Right.
seed. So we have authority over people's hearts by using the word. So we're not the word in a sense of Jesus himself, but we've been given authority to speak the word into people's hearts. Right. So we bear fruit only because we're connected to the vine. So when we speak, or better yet, when we bear fruit, someone has to eat of that fruit in order to be part of the vine, right?
That's right.
So how do they do that? Like today, how does someone eat that fruit today?
According to the gospel, you got to eat of him. When you being fed the gospel, you are eating.
What do you mean fed? What do you mean?
Well, only the man of God can actually feed the people of God with the gospel, like he told Peter to feed his sheep.
Right.
And you and I both know it wasn't literally food. We're talking about the written words of God.
Right. Okay, so the written word of God is the fruit, right?
Now, see, all of this stuff is elementary. I understand what you're going through, but I mean, I know all of that. I want you to get to that part about.
Listen, Mitch. The only way that I get to the part is by what I'm doing. Now, if you don't have patience, I can't get.
I got you.
All right. So remember, we're all believers here, and I know that the things that we're talking about is elementary. I know that. That's why I'm going through it slow. You just got to remember there's other people listening. It may not be elementary to them.
Yes, sir.
Right. So if Jesus is the vine and we are the branches, and the branches bear fruit that comes from the vine, and we're supposed to give that fruit to other people, and you said that they are fed that fruit by the word, which means that the fruit is words.
Right. And now that depends on Now, I would say this: that depends on what type of fruit you're talking about.
Right now we're talking about the tree of life fruit.
Okay, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Good.
So the tree of life fruit is words, right? And the disciples asked Jesus, basically, they said, teach us about Satan. And all he said is, he's a liar.
Right.
That's all he said. Right. And we know that's true.
Right.
We know. Right. But notice, Jesus called himself the true vine, meaning he tells the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Satan lies. So is Satan a vine too, or no?
We would have to say that, but if he say the true vine, it has to be a false one.
Yeah, but he's not the true vine, but he is a vine.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If Jesus say he the true vine, there has to be a false one.
There has to be a false one, which Satan is a liar, which means the fruit that he gives kills.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't give life. It kills. True. So today, Satan 100%, his main objective is to make people believe they're not good enough and that you're never going to be good enough. Mm-hmm. Right? Like to try to take your eyes off of Jesus and put them back on you so he can accuse you, because he's the accuser of the brethren. Mm-hmm. So if he is a liar and someone believes his lies, it's going to lead to death because they believed him.
That's right.
Right. So if the root is good, the fruit is good. If the fruit is bad, the root has to be bad. So
the tree also.
The tree also, right? So today, there are people who are not saved. And so in order for them to have everlasting life, they have to eat of the flesh of Christ, right? He said, if you don't eat of me, you'll never have everlasting life. That's what he said. Right?
That's correct.
Right. And so we've already confirmed that eating of him, he wasn't talking about taking a bite out of his forearm. Right? He was talking about the word.
Yeah.
Because he's the tree of life.
Right.
And if you eat of him, you get life. But if you eat of the other tree, you get death. Just like Adam was told, don't eat of that tree, because the day that you do, you shall surely die.
Right.
Right. So angels, the Bible tells us, are ministering spirits. That's what the Bible tells us. And they minister the word. That's what they minister. And we know this is true because even Jesus was ministered by angels. Jesus himself, angels came and ministered to him. And we know that they didn't minister death, they ministered life. That's what they do. And when we can be honest about eating from trees, whether it's good or bad, when we can be honest about that, the rest of the Bible starts coming together in a way that at its first look doesn't look like that's what it's saying. But we are branches and we bear fruit, but yet I don't look like a branch. Like anytime I see people in real life with my physical eyes, I don't see branches hanging from their head. Right. So we know it's talking in a way that is not seen with our physical eye. So if Jesus is the tree of life, the true vine, then Satan is a vine that lies, but yet it bears fruit. And if you eat of that fruit, you'll die. So Abraham is the person that wrote the story of the garden down. Abraham wrote that story. What would cause Abraham to write about trees in the garden, Mitch?
Well, the scriptures tell us that they wrote.
Moses. I'm sorry. Thank you. I keep saying Abraham. I mean Moses.
I was about to say, what the heck?
He needs more coffee.
It's a minor issue. So what would cause Moses to write about the garden? Because he wrote it.
Yeah, he can only write according to the knowledge given to him by God.
Right. But God shows us. That's what's so awesome. He shows us what was shown to Moses. So it's not like we don't know, because the Bible shows us what was shown to Moses, what would cause him to write this down. Do you remember where it's at?
Why he wrote it? Why he wrote trees in the garden? You saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know where that at.
So the very first time that he has an encounter with God, it was a bush that was on fire, right?
I mean, if you want to call that a tree.
Well, when you look at it in Hebrew, it's a tree. That's what it is.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So the first encounter he has, it's a tree. And it says that the voice came out of the midst of the tree. Now, let's be honest, Mitch. How would you explain that to somebody? If a voice was coming out of the midst of the tree, how would you tell somebody that a tree was talking to you?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't tell them the tree is talking. I would tell them God is talking.
Yeah, but you would have to tell the truth and say, I don't know, the voice came out of the midst of the tree.
Right.
The word midst means from the inside of the tree.
Right. So, and if we, I guess this would be the difference is, a man of God wouldn't question it at all if it's the voice of God. He's not concerned about the tree. He's concerned about the voice coming out of it. So,
of course, but the truth has to be told. It was a tree. So it's not we're concerned, but the truth was told. See, Moses could have just simply said God spoke to him, but he didn't. He said it was a tree.
Yeah, but he said that because it was miraculous that the voice would come from the tree.
Of course.
Just showing the power of God, just
of course.
But God spoke to Moses more than once. He just spoke to him straight up, but he didn't speak to him out of a tree. It's just like if he spoke to him out of a rock, he would have said this rock, So, I mean, that's why it was mentioned.
No, of course. But it's still mentioned because that's what happened. The voice still came out of the midst of the tree.
Right.
There's no refuting that. Can't refute it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, but God did this on purpose. He didn't speak to him out of the midst of a tree for no apparent reason. There's a reason that he did it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So later on, they come to this bitter water, Mara. And they said they call it Mara, for it means bitter. And the water, they couldn't drink it. So Moses goes to God and says, hey, man, we can't drink this water. And it says that God showed him a tree. And God didn't tell him what to do with it. It just said he showed him. That's all it says. And Moses is writing this down just like how it happened. So Moses went over there, took the tree and put it in the water. And it said it made the bitter water sweet. So Moses knew that there's a tree that brings things to life. He knew because God showed him. Right, Mitch?
I don't know about that because Moses understood that it was the power of God and not the tree itself. So
right.
in talking in that manner, in that setting, it wasn't the tree. It was the power given to the tree.
Okay.
So I have to look at it like that.
That's fine. Okay, but we'll go back to the fiery bush. So the fiery bush, Moses already had a stick in his hand.
Mm-hmm. And
God said, what is that in your hand? And he said, oh, it's a staff. And he said, cast it to the ground. And he did. And he said, take it by the tail, when it became a serpent. So Moses took it by a tail, and it became a staff again in his hand. And he goes to Pharaoh, right? And Pharaoh's magicians had staffs also. And we know the story. The black letters on the white page is, like you said, elementary. But they throw the staff down. Moses throws his down. And that snake eats the other two. So when Moses picked that rod back up, there was no other rods there. It was just one rod now in Moses' hand. And he's like, hey, let my people go. So God tells him, hey, take the rod. And of course, Aaron's involved. Tell Aaron to take the rod and do this with it. And he tells him 10 times. So the 10 plagues only happen because of the rod, not because of Moses, right?
Yes, sir.
So then we get to the Red Sea, and Pharaoh starts coming, and Moses goes and cries to God, and God says, why criest thou unto me? Why would God tell Moses, why are you crying to me?
Did you ask
Mitch?
me a question?
Yeah. When the Red Sea, during the Red Sea, Pharaoh is chasing Moses. He's chasing him.
Right.
And Moses goes to God to complain about Pharaoh's coming. And God says, why criest thou unto me? Why would God tell Moses, why are you crying to me?
Because he already gave it him power.
Where?
In the rod.
Okay, in the rod. But Moses didn't understand that it was the rod, did he?
Yeah, we could say that, yeah.
Right. So that's how Moses knew to put the tree in the bitter water. That's how he knew to do that. Because he had to keep being reminded. So when you said, well, he knew it's the power of God, not the tree. No, the power of God was in the rod. The power of God was in the tree. Because he's trying to show Moses something. Moses is not the one that has the power. God does. But he has it in the form of a rod. So he forgot that it was the rod that was doing all these miracles. If he wouldn't have forgot, he wouldn't have ran to God and complained about Pharaoh. But he did. He did forget. And God said, why are you crying to me? Take the rod, which is the power of God, and do this with it. So he's showing Moses that thing you're holding is representing something, and you need to know what it is. And Moses starts learning because there's a battle that takes place, and he tells Joshua, hey, when you're down there fighting, I'm going to take the rod and I'm going to hold it up. So he knew that the power of God was in the rod. He knew this.
Well, let me say this. Now, you had the incident of the serpents. He understood the power that was executed at that time. Now, we have to understand the power might have been in the rod, but the power is only released by permission. So when he complained to God, and God say, just cutting it short, and God say, look, take the rod and do this. All right. It was by his permission. So whatever the rod function was, it was done only by the commission of God. Like he told him to strike the rock. All right. Mm-hmm. Using to strike the rock and get water, whatever the case may be. Well, Moses couldn't just do on his own because the power did not belong to Moses. Okay, so I'm not going to question the complaint to God, because I understand when God gives permission, the thing is sure. So it just reverse it. If Moses would have went not having knowledge at all and just having knowledge of the first incident where it turned to snakes, but not the incident as the seas depart by using the same object. If he'd have went and done that himself, I would submit nothing would have happened.
So if Moses would have used the rod by himself without God's permission, nothing would have happened?
Nothing would have happened.
Well, again, the incident I'm bringing you where Joshua was going to fight the battle, see, he learned that the authority of God was in the rod. He didn't go to God. He just went up there and started holding the rod up, and they started winning the battle. He did it without telling God anything.
Well,
I would add that the second time he struck the rock, he did that without permission, and water still came out.
Yeah, but I mean, the point is, there's a few of them I can bring up that he didn't go to God and get permission. See, he already gave Moses the authority because the authority was in the rod. It wasn't in Moses. It was in the rod.
This is why, the side I explained and the side you explained, neither one is wrong. So we can use both. That's why I'm saying I'm not going to pin it down simply because he complained.
No, it's not about the complaint. You said that Moses had to go to God to get permission to use the rod. I'm just saying that's not true. Moses let me say this,
bro.
held the rod up without asking God for permission.
But let me say this, okay? Because, the Bible tells us, to speak that we know. According to what we read, I have to say that permission was given by God. Now, according to what you read, when he held the rod up, that he didn't need the permission. So I can't argue what you're speaking, okay? Because if that's what the word said, that's what it said. But in this instance, he complained to God and God told him what to do with the rod. So that's the part I'm arguing, that he needed the permission at that time. Now, he might have not needed permission just to hold the thing up and they won the battle. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is as soon as he gave him the rod, he already had his permission. He didn't have to give him permission every instance. He already had it. That's why he gave it to him. So that's why he said, why are you crying to me? He's trying to tell Moses, I already gave you my authority. Use it. But out of fear and not believing and unbelief, he ran to God. And God is reminding him.
And I'm not arguing that point.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing that because when he held the rod up, he didn't go seek permission because according to what you're saying, he believed he already had it. Okay. I'm just saying on the other side of it, in that incident, all right, he asked a question because he think he didn't have it. So if we're going to talk about what it says, I'm just talking about what it said at that moment. It's clear that he complained to God and God honored the request, told him what to do, and that he did.
But that's what I'm saying. He didn't honor the request. That's what I'm telling you. He's asking him, why are you crying to me? That direct question is 100% telling him, you already have the rod. Why are you coming to me? So the whole point of this is the rod in the Old Testament is a shadow of Christ. So today, which in the book of Revelation, it talks about the iron rod. That's talking about the Spirit of Christ, not the shadow that Moses held. There are people today that people cry out to God. He's already given them Christ, the thing that gives us authority in this world. But yet every time something happens, they go crying to God when they already have the authority of God, which is the iron rod, which is Christ, already been given to us, which is referring to the Spirit. So we already have the rod of God. This is what David.
I'm not arguing that, but I'm saying.
No, I know you're not arguing that, but I'm making it very clear that today, people don't have to go to God to use God's authority every second of the day. He's already given us Christ. He's already given us the authority. So, yeah. So, but I'm pointing all these things out is because God does things and he does it with purpose. There's a reason that he does it. And so he didn't just show Moses a tree for no reason. He could have used anything to show Moses to throw it in the bitter water to make it sweet. But he didn't use anything. He used a tree again. He came to Moses as a tree. A tree was used to bring bitter water sweet. So Moses knew that there was a tree that brings things to life, and he wrote about it, and he called it the tree of life.
So is that's where you get that from in Genesis?
What do you mean?
Is that what you saying that when it talks about the trees in the garden, that's why it talks that way? That's the way Moses was looking at it?
Yeah, so Moses wrote it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see why Moses wrote about trees or no?
I could see why Moses wrote about trees, but not in that context. Because
what other context can you see it in?
Well, I can see it as he written it as trees. Now, but when we're talking about the beginning, because Moses was in person, Moses was in contact. His feet was on the ground. He touched the dirt. He was a man, flesh and bone, so he can write like that. Now, when we're talking about the garden, there was nobody there. Period.
Right, but Moses wrote it.
But hold on a minute.
I'm just being clear, right? Moses, the physical man, he was walking on this earth. He's the one that wrote the story, right?
Okay. Let's leave it as he wrote it. That's fine with me.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure it was a man that wrote this down.
Right. Now we it was a man that wrote all of it down now. Okay? So now when we get to the garden, all right.
Well, we're not there yet, but go ahead.
Okay, we
ain't there yet. Look, let me say one other thing. So King Solomon prayed for wisdom, and it says that God gave it to him, right?
Right.
All right. And it says that people came from all over the world to hear the wisdom of Solomon. And it tells you that Solomon spoke of trees. Out of all the things that he could have been wise about, it was trees, fowls of the air, beasts of the field. So he spoke about the same things that Moses wrote about. Fowls of the air, beasts of the field, trees. He spoke about the same thing.
So let's look at it like this. When the blind man receiving his sight, he said, I see men as trees.
Yeah.
Okay. So I see men as trees.
That's right. Yep.
Now the problem that we come to when we're talking about eating, all right? I'm trying to figure out how do we get past this eating of, because something was physically touched and something was physically eaten. Okay. So I'm trying to understand if the people first of all, you're saying it was more people in the garden than Adam and Eve. Okay. Which the Bible don't talk like that. All right. So I'm trying to.
All right, hold on a second. All right, hold on. I understand you probably got 50,000 points in your head spinning. I get all that. Okay. But you literally just told me that the Bible does speak like that. And now you're saying it doesn't?
According to what we're dealing with the garden, what you're trying to say is when it spoke of trees, it was talking of, I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to prove that because he wrote of trees.
No, you already proved it. I didn't prove nothing. You did.
Well, I'm totally in agreement that when he speak of trees, he was actually speaking of a literal tree. I'm not arguing that point.
I know, but you already said that Jesus is not a literal tree. You already said that.
That is true.
Okay.
I'm sticking to that.
All right. So the truth is you do understand, but you've been taught something for so long, you just can't let it go. You're not going to let the Bible get in your way of what you believe. That's what's happening right now.
Let me say this then. All right. Because I wasn't taught this by a man. So I'm going to tell you like this. What I'm trying to say is when I say Jesus ain't a tree, in the garden, he was not a tree. Jesus wasn't even on the scene. Okay. It
Okay.
was the Father himself. It was not Jesus. So when we talk about in the garden, we talking about literal trees. There was literal trees in the garden.
Okay.
This is
All
why
right.
they
Listen,
was given.
listen, Mitch. I think everybody here knows that you believe that all the trees were literal. We already believe that. So, what I'm trying to tell you is I asked you a bunch of questions, like 10 or 15 or whatever. And I'm trying to show you that you already see this. Okay. You already see it. But for some reason, because of something you were taught when you were young, you're not going to let the Bible get in your way of how you believe. That's what the issue is. You're having a problem. You're having a problem. It's hard for you to believe that Jesus is the only thing in the Bible that brings things to life. There's not other things that brings things to life. There is no other thing in the Bible that has the name life that is not Jesus. Period.
So let me ask you this.
Hold on a second. Are you saying that there's something else in the Bible that has the name life and it's not Christ? The Bible says there was nothing made without him. So what other thing in the Bible has the rightful way to? There's only one life in the Bible. There's not 2, 10, 12. There's only one. So what I'm trying to tell you is, that's true based on Christ, but for some reason you have separated the story of the Garden of Eden and you have stripped Christ out of the story. And what I'm trying to tell you, my friend, is that's not true. I don't know who has made you believe that what's happened in the garden has nothing to do with Jesus. It has everything to do with him, is what I'm telling you. And no man can force you to see that. So when you're saying, no, show me how, I'm telling you right now, I just showed you. And I wasn't even in the garden. I had showed you everything that I brought up to you. The reason that you believe that Jesus is the tree of life, I asked you, you told me the truth, and I am telling you that you're right. But what the other thing that I'm saying is, for some reason, you've allowed these stories you've compartmentalized them. Like if the Garden of Eden has nothing to do with Jesus, and what I am telling you is it has everything to do with him. So here on D-Scale, bro, we don't argue, we don't debate, and I'm not saying that you've been argumentative, but I think we've reached a standstill. What I'm saying is it's going to finally get to a point where you're just going to continue to disagree with what I'm saying. But the truth is 85% of the time you've been doing nothing but agreeing. Right.
Okay,
So
let me say this, and I ain't gonna argue with you. We ain't trying to argue. I'm just. Let me.
Well, I think you're going to repeat yourself. And
let me give you my side. Let me give you my side of this, of what you're saying. I agree with what you said concerning the tree when it come to Moses. Okay, now this is the problem I have. Now I believe that the tree in the garden, okay, it was not Jesus himself. It was a literal tree that represented eternal life, right? This is why if they ate it, they could live forever. The tree in the garden was a physical tree. Now, the tree we're dealing with now, which is Jesus Christ, is that of a spirit. It is not that of a physical thing.
Mitch, I know what you're saying. The difference between physical and spirit, I know. So what I'm telling you is I have not just started preaching this yesterday. Right. Okay. Right. So I already know what you're saying that you disagree with. But what I'm telling you is when you say that it wasn't the literal Jesus, what do you mean? Are you saying that you believe that I'm saying that the Jesus that came out of Mary's vagina was in the garden? Is that what you think I'm saying?
No. I know you.
Okay, so all right, hold on. So we agree that it's not the literal Jesus. So then why are you saying that it's not the literal Jesus if I don't believe it's not the literal Jesus?
Okay, so I don't think I said. I don't think I said. I think you believe that's the literal Jesus.
Yeah. Well, no. It was 100% implied for you to say. All right, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
This is what I'm getting at. That all of that is mute. Okay, this is what I'm getting at, because I'm pretty sure this is what you said. You said that the trees were people in the garden. Okay, that's my issue right there.
Listen, Mitch, I know that's your issue. I
So I
know.
need you, but I need you to
No,
tell
hold
me
on,
why
hold
you
on.
say
You don't
that.
need, whoa. You don't need me to do anything. You don't need me to do anything. What you need to go do is find out why I'm saying that. That's what you need to go do.
I gather why you're saying it, but the word is saying something different.
No,
All
the
I'm
word's
asking
not.
you,
The word,
oh,
Mitch, the
oh,
word is not saying anything different. You're making those trees physical. Nowhere in there does it say these are physical trees. That's not what it says.
okay, so all I'm asking is,
Hold on a second now. Hold on, Mitch. If you're saying that I'm making it say something it's not, then that's exactly what you're doing, actually. Because it does not say that they're physical trees. It does not say that it was physical fruit. It's words. You already told me that it's words that people believe, but then we get to the garden, it's no longer words, even though Moses is the one that wrote it.
okay, so all I'm asking is, were there other people in the garden besides Adam and Eve?
Okay, so you're saying I haven't answered you?
If you're saying that the trees were people in the garden, you saying there's other people besides Adam and Eve?
Listen, Mitch, where did you hear me say that there were other people in the garden? You see, where did you get this from?
You said that the trees were people.
Hold on,
in the garden.
Mitch. We are trees and we are people. You, and you've already agreed to that.
Right. So I'm asking
okay. So listen, just hear me out, Mitch. I have never told anybody that there were other people in the garden. Where did you get this from? All these people are witness. I've never said that ever in the 15 years.
Not
so
once.
Where are you getting this from that I'm saying there were other people in the garden? Where is this coming from? It ain't coming from me.
If I'm not mistaken, when I first came on here, because that's what I want to go and get to, that you stated that trees were people in the garden, not any other scripture. You're talking about in the garden.
Yeah, so listen, Mitch, I'm with you. Okay, listen, there are people that's been coming to Descaled for 3 or 4 years. How come they know that that's not what I'm saying? You understand? No one here will tell you, yeah, that's what he says. So somewhere along the way, you're misunderstanding something I'm saying.
Well, Descaled, please help me, brother.
All right, so
tell me the trees in the garden wasn't people then.
They're angels, not people.
Okay, so if they're okay. So the trees in the garden was angels.
Yeah, angels are ministering spirits. Yes.
Okay, so I'm just following your logic.
You're fine. Follow my logic, but it's okay. But you kept saying that I'm saying there's other people in there. I've never said that. Okay,
right, okay, angel. We'll go to angels. We'll go to angels.
All right. So look. You've already explained that you understand today. It's believing what you hear, that is eating, right?
Right.
Okay. And what I'm telling you, my friend, it was the same in the garden. That is what I'm telling you. So angels are ministering spirits. The first Adam needed spirits to minister him just like the last Adam did. Jesus is the last Adam, and he came here so he can override what the first Adam failed to do, and that was to not eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, my friend, who is Satan.
So the ministering spirits that are trees in the garden, what help did they give Adam to not allow him to eat?
What do you mean, what help?
If they're ministering spirits to Adam, and Eve, if they're ministering spirits, in other words, they're guidance,
right?
And they're keepers. So I'm trying to, how did you come up with them being minister spirits when the Bible speaks in no kind of term that the only person or the only entity they were dealing with was Satan himself in the garden? But it don't talk anywhere in the Bible about them being minister spirits in the garden. It
has to hold on. So it has to tell you, the Bible has to tell you that the trees in the garden are angels ministering spirits. It has to tell you like that?
I mean, yeah, because there's no scripture that proves that.
You literally all right. So Well, let me just say this. Look, Mitch, this is something you're going to have to go study on your own, okay? And I'm not saying that you're a baby in Christ. I'm not saying that just because I'm telling you to go study this. But what I am telling you is, and I'm going to say it one more time, what is happening today, which is eating is believing. That's what it is. Eating is not physically grabbing something and taking a bite with your physical mouth. It's believing. That's what it is. So,
hold on, brother.
well, let me say this last thing. Let me say this last thing. So when you said, where were the angels? How come they didn't stop them or help Adam? Well, God told them not to eat of it. So they have to listen to the angels. They didn't listen to God.
Yeah, they wouldn't be ministering spirits then. But what I'm saying is, bro, what you know now as a man, okay, you're contributing to in the beginning when man didn't exist. All right. So what I'm saying is, as the Bible speaks, we have to say what it says. You cannot make something up and put in.
Yeah, I know. Listen, Mitch, I told you from the beginning, we don't have to do that. Listen, if you don't understand what I'm saying, that's fine. Okay. But if I'm making something up, then you are too then. If I'm making something up, because for literally 15 minutes, you were in agreement with again, I'm telling you what the problem is. You will not let the Bible get in your way of how you believe. You will not let it go that these were physical trees, even though you made it up, because it does not say it's physical trees. It does not say it's physical fruit. So while you're sitting here trying to say someone is making something up, you're doing the same thing. It does not say it's physical trees. It does not say, where is it saying that this stuff is physical?
Let me ask you this.
No. Hold on, Mitch. Hold on. Listen, I've heard you keep.
Question.
Hold on a second. I already asked you one. Where?
I'm going to ask you a question.
You're going to answer it?
Yeah.
Okay.
When
go
you
ahead.
say where does it say it's physical in the garden? Okay. Now the Bible tells us about eating right now, right? We know that's not physical. We know we're talking spiritual. We eat the word of God spiritually. And the Garden of Eden, that was not spiritual. Okay, it was not spiritual at all. That's why it's talking the way it's taught. They actually, because you got to deal with.
Where are you? I know, but where are you getting the idea that it's not spiritual? Where are you getting that from?
Let me say this. You got to deal with the fact where it said they took of the fruit and ate.
Right.
That's got to be justified some kind of way. How you saying it's
again? I need you to justify how it's physical. Just because it's called fruit doesn't mean it's physical. That's what I'm telling you. And you keep saying, yes, it does. But what I'm saying, I tried to tell you this 5 minutes ago. I already know you disagree with what I'm saying, and I disagree with what you're saying. I'm saying it's the exact same thing. Nothing has changed. There's nothing new under the sun. It's the same thing. And this was a spiritual place. 100% this was a spiritual place because it was good. It was not a fallen world yet. The fall has not happened. So instead of arguing about it, what I'm telling you is you need to go meditate over what I'm saying, because I am telling you 100% that the trees in the garden that they can all eat from are ministering spirits. So was Lucifer. He was supposed to minister life, and instead he unalived them with lies.
Now, when I say spiritual and physical, what I meant was the actual act they committed when they reached and grabbed the fruit and ate. That was a physical thing. Yeah, the garden was spiritual.
Mitch, I'm saying that it wasn't, and you're saying that it is. But again, it doesn't say if it's physical or not. It doesn't. So I can understand the issue. But what I'm saying is all we're going to end up doing is going in circles. I don't think you're listening to me. Look, you're going to keep going in circles with this over and over. Okay, that's all that's going to happen. I think we come to a standstill probably 2 or 3 minutes ago. So
and the reason I'm saying, I hate to keep, I understand what you're saying. It's just that I'm still trying. When the Bible tells us that a plant something in the garden which grew, I'm trying to say, I know ministering angels are not planted anywhere. So
they are with the word. They are with the word. They are. The word is the seed. Yes, they are, sir.
Right. So if that's the case, according to what you're saying, if that is the case, then the trees could not be seen. Now, the Bible tells us that he told Adam to dress it and keep it. So it was something physical we had to do. So I'm trying to, you talking about
listen, Jesus dresses and keeps our garden. It's not physical. Mitch, what are you talking about?
Because during that time,
the first Adam was a gardener. My friend, the last Adam is a gardener of our heart.
And one was physical.
No, Mitch, no, they were not. It was all spiritual, Mitch. It's always been that way. That's why the fall caused this physical, Mitch. The fall.
No, you're right. You're
okay.
You're correct.
All right. Okay, but it was all spiritual before. Okay, look, Mitch. We've done enough. Okay, I appreciate you coming up. You can come over another day. Okay, but I think you need to go meditate over what I said, and you need to mutter on that for a little bit, because what you're saying, I don't need to meditate over that anymore. Okay, but I think you need to meditate. Okay. I think you need to meditate over what I'm saying, because I used to believe that. I used to believe that for years too, and after further investigation, it comes to show. That it is true. Even though people don't like it, there is a deeper understanding. It is true. And nobody's got to be perfect. Nobody has to pray harder. It's nothing like that. But to sit there and just keep going over the argument over and over, it's not edifying to anybody. But I hope you go and study that out a little bit more, so you can understand that what happened in the garden is no different than what is happening today. God is a spirit, and everything was spiritual in the garden. So
I got you.
But you can come up here.
The book of Acts trot, right? Like the Bereans. Take everything we said back to scripture, see if it's true.
Yeah, you'll see. You just go back and just go meditate over what we talked about, man, because just keep saying things like, well, I don't believe that, or I say I don't believe you, and it's not going to edify nobody. It's not going to go nowhere. But you are welcome to come back whenever you want, Mitch. We're probably not going to talk about the garden again. I think you need a few months on that one, honestly. But what time is it? About to be 12. Right. Does anybody what?
We see when just on number 17, when God put all the rods, told Aaron, and they placed all the rods at the tabernacle, and only Aaron's rod budded almond, and we see that's the power and authority given already there. So he didn't have to run to God all the time, because he already had the authority with the rod.
Yeah. Guys, it's already 12. Does anybody have Khorshid sis? Khorshid, did you have a question, or am I reading that wrong?
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
Put up a big question mark, so I don't know who it was.
I have a question.
Oh, okay. All right. Does anybody have anything before we leave? Because it's already 12. I got to go. I got too much to do today. Nobody?
Tomorrow.
Go ahead. What'd you say?
For tomorrow, if we can, I got a question. We was reading the book of Job last night. I got a question about him. It's about, what chapter was that? Sis, that we couldn't figure out that if he was getting it right or not. Remember what I'm talking about? I just can't remember what chapter it was.
Was it starting on 22?
Yeah, I want to say 22, but I'm not 100% on that.
Well, we know it's somewhere around 22, brother. If we could go
chapter 22?
Yes.
Right, and beyond it, we went all the way to chapter 28, so somewhere between there.
Okay, hold on. So, Jennifer, you got a question between Job 22 and 28?
Yes, no, not between those. No, not. It's only one chapter. We couldn't because we saw that Job, he was kind of getting tossed to and fro. He would be saying something and he would confirm it, and then it's like he fell back again and into his
All right,
bed.
well, go back and find it. Okay, find it, write it down, and then tomorrow, bring it tomorrow.
Okay.
Rhonda, what do you say? Brother is Grit Mastery. Yeah, Grit Mastery Family, guys. Grit Mastery Family is 100% still going on. Just remember, today is Tuesday, we may, like I was telling you, Grit Mastery Family or a Timeless Yeshua. Those things may not happen every day, but you'll know when that's what we're talking about, because I'll keep reminding you. So if we don't do a grit, because we might do a Grit Mastery Family today, I don't know, but if not, we'll do one tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think we'll do one tomorrow for sure. So just remember, a Timeless Yeshua and a Grit Mastery Family. Those are not every day, but they can be every day. And they're definitely going to be more than once a week. And like I said, there may be some mornings where I open up and that's what it is. It may just be a Grit Mastery Family in the morning. Okay. So, but you'll know, because I'll remind you, I'll tell you what it is. Yeah. So those things are not descaled, a Grit Mastery Family or a Timeless Yeshua. Those will always be 3 shows that we'll do always like that. That's the 3 that, and there's another one actually that, I don't know exactly when it's going to start. I'm not even going to talk about it right now, but there's another one, that we might start doing here in the near future, but we're trying to get the, next time Dre comes out, we're going to record 4 or 5, or maybe more. We might do 6. I'm not sure yet. And the next time he comes, that's when we're going to start the podcast. So don't think the podcast is not going to happen. It is. It's just we're actually real busy people. We're trying our best, but but it'll come. It'll come in its time. So okay, guys. Let me see. I don't have nothing else to talk about. But tomorrow we will see y'all in the morning. And if we don't have a Grit Mastery Family today, tomorrow morning may be a Grit Mastery Family. Okay. What?
Try the next Grit Mastery. Can we kind of go over like how to be the most effective with like getting our kids into studying the Word in this time, like our teenagers, like how to disciple our teenagers? Because I'm really
okay.
Like some actual tangible ways to do it without turning them off.
All right. Yeah, I got it written down right here.
All right.
So if the next a Grit Mastery Family is either going to be today or it's going to be tomorrow morning. Okay. So either today at some point, and guys, don't crucify me. It's hard to determine when that's going to be, but just make sure your notifications are on. And when we are live, guys, make sure you share the live to other people to let them know that we're on. So it's either going to be today or tomorrow morning on a Grit Mastery Family. We'll talk about how to disciple my teenager. And again, that may not be the title of the video. That's just where we're at right now. Anybody else?
Thanks, John.
Absolutely. Anybody else? Yes, no, maybe so. Carla, what's up?
Hi, everybody. I just made a mistake and hit the button again.
Carla's like, I'm shy. I don't want to come up, boy. We force her up here every week, boy.
I know.
All right.
Right?
Well, we apologize. We just, hey, somebody saw it and they brought you up. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Y'all have a beautiful day.
You too. All right. Bye. Okay. All right, guys. All right. We will see y'all soon.